A lot of the projects that you see today on this side of TDeFi Pavilion, a lot of the projects that you see, the best performing projects of this year, last year, they have been funded by Master Ventures. I would request the investors from the Investor Lounge to please be on this side and be a part of this presentation. I know there's you guys are a little tired, but we'd really appreciate if you guys can come on this side and be a part of this presentation. So now I would like to invite Mr. Kyle on stage, the founder of Master Ventures, a fund that is focusing to help projects to scale up their businesses across different geographies and helping in their advisory for a lifelong. Thank you, Mr. Kyle, for being here, and I would like to invite you to the stage. Can we have the presentation on? Okay. This is the clicker. Okay. Yeah. I was waiting for this to happen. You don't want to dig a new hole? Yes, very good. I'll just announce their names as well. I'll announce their names as well.
Yeah, Rajesh and Orion.
And we also have Mr. Orion Deb and Mr. Brajesh from Master Ventures. Welcome to the TDeFi blockchain mega stage.
Honestly, I'm probably not going to use this, the presentation too. Oh, look, I can see it over here too. That's nice. Thank you, everybody. My name is Kyle Chasse. I've been in crypto and Bitcoin since 2012. That kind of makes me a dinosaur in this space. Full time. Like I live in a bubble. don't really do anything else besides crypto and Bitcoin. And yeah, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself because I think it's important that if you align with a fund or you're trusting someone to handle your money with you or for you, you should kind of get to know who they are a little bit. So yeah, I've been, like I said, started in 2012, a little bit dabbling with Bitcoin, and then by 2013, I sold my last company. My last company was called Reverse Aging Institute. It was basically, yeah, regenerative medicine and anti-aging, and sold that, bought Bitcoin, and exited fiat in 2013. So have been living my entire life off of basically, you know, having 99% of my assets always in crypto, and it's worked out quite well for me. In 2015, I started diversifying my Bitcoin holdings into Ethereum. Ethereum got $1, and I guess my average buy-in price for Bitcoin was around 150 or so. And yeah, I've done everything in this space. I've you know, so everything from building. I started the first world's first Bitcoin-based lottery in 2013 called World Super Lotto. I've been COO of different blockchain infrastructure projects, and I've done everything from syndicating funds, fundraising, marketing, influencer and KOL management, things like that. And by 2000, yeah, so I started speaking at conferences and doing my conference circuit in order to really scale my network and make sure that I knew everybody in the space, so everything I could do, people would trust me. And I felt like in order to really make sure that when you go to market, you have to know everything about the space, you have to know who is who, and you have to know, kind of learn from other people's mistakes, successes and failures. And I felt by 2019, I really felt like I knew what was going on, so I started, Master Ventures pivoted to a venture studio model, and we started building our own projects in-house. And the first project that we really wanted to demonstrate our understanding of going to market was paid network. So we launched paid network January this year, and it was probably one of the most successful launches of any project since, I mean, probably of all times. Like, you know, if you were a seed investor of paid network, you would have done 550x on your investment. That's pretty impressive. So that was basically demonstrating that we know how to go to market. We know what we're doing, and then a lot of people have asked me, you know, how can I invest with you? And I've never really been interested in starting a fund. I like to build things, but you know, some of the ideas I have are wildly ambitious and kind of far-fetched in the way that it's not easy to find investors that want to invest in the kinds of things that I want to build. And so I realized that I would really need to have a huge war chest to kind of build these things that I want to build. And I realized the best way to grow my war chest was to start a fund to be able to leverage my skill set of making money for other people, to leverage other people's money. So, you know, to give you an idea, in 2021, we've had, I think, over 6 investments that have done over 100x. And that's been, yeah, that's quite common for us. So let me tell you about the fund a little bit. What I've always kind of believed in was infrastructure, right? Because we still have a pretty nascent space. It's not yet ready for mainstream adoption. So what do we need to do? We need to build more infrastructure that makes it easier, quicker, cheaper for people to kind of, you know, to use to make this more mainstream friendly. And so my thesis has kind of always been infrastructure. Infrastructure is what we've invested into. Let's see if this. Yeah, so here you can see some of the investments that we've made before. Like there's a lot of unicorns on this thing. Coinbase, unicorn, Circle, unicorn, Elron, unicorn, Kraken, unicorn, Bitstamp, unicorn. Let's see, Star Atlas, unicorn, Securitize, unicorn, Casper Labs, going to be, that's for sure. Coin payments, getting there. Let's see, what else we got? Bitfinex, unicorn, Ripple, unicorn, Thorchain, unicorn, Polkadot will be a unicorn probably in the next 3 or 4 months. Let's see, what else we got? Abra, unicorn, Bitso, unicorn, Bank to the Future, unicorn, Lottery, getting there. Yeah, a lot of projects that we're quite proud of. This is not even updated completely, but you can see like if you look at something that like we have done compared to your traditional fund managers, this has all happened in the past 4 years or so, 4 or 5 years. You know, so we have a really good track record of success, and this year alone, yeah, some of the ones from this year aren't even on here, but. So the thesis of the fund really is to look at infrastructure, right? And like everybody wants to invest in the next Google, the next Windows, the next Apple. And one of the things that we're looking at in this fund is Polkadot. Polkadot is basically, it's not the only thing, by the way, but it's something we're heavily looking at. Why are we looking at Polkadot? Because Polkadot is a internet of blockchains. It's connected. Let me see if I can find something for you guys. Oh yeah, there's more over here. Yeah, okay, so let's see. So this is Gavin. Gavin is, you guys have all heard of Ethereum, I'm sure. Gavin was a CTO of Ethereum. And as we all, if you know anything about blockchain, you know that Ethereum is very slow, very expensive, and it doesn't scale well. So, so Gavin left Ethereum in 2017 to go build his own protocol, and he's building something that is future-proof. And so let me see if I can show you a diagram. If you look at this thing on the end over here, every single one of those is its own layer 1 blockchain. It's so if you think about like all the blockchains that exist today, they're fragmented and they're isolated. So it's hard for them to communicate with other blockchains, and that's why it's hard. Like Ethereum has a lot of market share and dominance, but it's really hard for anyone to build a new blockchain because a lot of people are on Ethereum, and you have to build bridges, and bridges are clunky, and they things like that. So what Gavin has built is something that interconnects natively all these blockchains together and makes it seamless to use. That is like very innovative. And every single one of these parachains is potentially going to be the next Google, Windows, Apple, and everybody wants to speculate. Like I said, everybody wants to buy into these new infrastructure plays. And so for the next 5 years, we're not going to know who wins and who loses anyway. It's all based on speculation. So this is a very easy way to kind of assure success in this speculative kind of market. So we're focused a lot on that, but the whole fund isn't focused exclusively on Polkadot. It's also on other layer ones, or actually other projects that we think are great. So, so some of the things that we have invested into so far are things like Chingari. So Chingari is something we invested in recently. It's the fastest growing social media app in the world. There's 50 million active users on Chingari, and over about almost 100 million downloads. This thing is growing at 108 million new users a week or something like that, exploding. So, one of the things that that is really interesting for investors in the fund is we have co-investment opportunities. So, the minimum for the fund investment is $100,000, but $500,000 or more gets you co-investment rights, and that's pretty attractive. I'll tell you why. Because first of all, a lot of people who invest in crypto ask me like, which coin would I buy? And I don't buy tokens on the secondary market. Why? Because it's dangerous, right? That's how you, it is, it's dangerous. Like, if you're buying tokens on the secondary market, you have a chance of you know, holding big bags when the market collapses. We only invest in basically private sales and seed sale deals where we're getting the lowest prices in these opportunities, and even if you get a market correction, we're still usually up, you know, 2 or 3x on the worst of days. So, I mean, in certain situations, we've out of the 120 investments we've made this year, maybe 5 of them or something like that are sitting right around the investment price that we're in, or even a couple of them maybe even a little bit down. But large in part, we've been, you know, don't really lose money, because if you're investing in seed round, it's really hard for the price of that token to drop below that. So, so yeah, we don't really buy off the secondary market, and that's why there's and so for average people to be able to get involved in private sale or seed sale deals, it's very, very, very difficult, right? You have to be super well connected in this space. You have to be able to add a lot of value to projects, and we've built one of the most valuable propositions to projects as possible. We're connected to over 150 of the industry's top KOLs and thought leaders, and we can help bring those guys to projects to help them grow their communities, and really that is extremely valuable. Paid Network, what we launched, is also one of the top launch pads in the world, and that's kind of like being Binance or something, where every project wants to launch on your launch pad. Again, that creates a lot of value. So we've created this thing where we basically have our pick of the litter, any project that we want. You know, we're getting 20 projects a day that are submitted to us, and we get to choose, you know, really, you know, with a fine-tooth comb, which ones do you want to invest in. And it's very rare that if we want to invest in a project that we don't get to. So again, like, yeah. So the co-investment opportunity is tremendous. You know, I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, we invested in Star Atlas this year and Beyond Protocol. Both of them right now are sitting at about 200 to 250x. You know, so if you would have gotten even a $5,000 or $10,000 allocation, like, you know, you're up a couple $1 million right now, and that's just on one deal. We've done 100 deals this year, so it's an incredibly good opportunity to be able to co-invest with us. This is something that has taken us years of work to be able to get this kind of opportunity to make sure that we get access to these deals at such early stages. Ryan, you want to come up here? You want to come up here? I'll let Orion come up here because I just winged it and he's a little bit more on it.
Hey everyone. I'm going to wing it a little bit too, but you know, a little bit differently. So yeah, my name is Orion Depp. I'm also a partner with Kyle on the fund, and I'll give you a little bit of a quick background on myself. So I've been in fintech for over 20 years. I was a dev intern at Apple in 1994 while I was in college, and I went on to start my own online investment bank, which I grew to an online financial community, grew to 500,000 users, and captured 3.2% of the US market share. It was an online financial community partnered with CBS Market Watch, and we helped companies raise capital through our website. Obviously, things were different back then. You couldn't do a lot of the things you're doing right now with crypto, but I've been involved with fintech for a long time. So that company was sold to another company that actually was funded by the United Arab Emirates Investment Fund almost, 20 years ago. You know, 9/11 happened, a lot of different things happened in the market, stock market. So I went back, I did my MBA in investment management, and I worked for a $1 billion hedge fund shorting stocks in small cap technology, so finding flaws with management, doing forensic accounting, and getting very involved in that space. After that, I also became a sell-side analyst. I was one of the first sell-side analysts in the nation for altcoins. I covered the Binance coin, BNB, and this is around 2016. There were only a few top analysts out there. There was Mike Novogratz, there was Thomas Lee at Fundstrat Partners, and I worked for a sell-side research firm, and I pitched to my boss to pitch BNB. So BNB was at $6 at the time, and wrote about a 30-page report on BNB. It had a buyback and burn mechanism, and I thought it was great because I worked with exchanges. Of course, it went from $6 to $12. We all went crazy. Oh my God, 100% returns. This is crazy. Little did we know that Binance was going to be so impactful in the world. And I went on to cover VeChain, Ontology, Decred, Zcash, plenty of others. And I learned a lot. So Kyle called me up about a year ago and said, listen, I've made solid money now. We're managing around $500 million in private market digital asset investments. And I want to start an institutional fund to help other people make money with the same strategy that we're employing at Master Ventures. So we formed the fund, structured everything, and obviously funding Polkadot, because we believe that Polkadot benefits from unprecedented market dynamics. It's not simply one blockchain. It's a layer 0 blockchain that allows it to have potentially 100 different blockchains. And the Akalas and the Akalas of the world and the Moonrivers of the world could be the next Ethereum, could be the next Bitcoin. So that's a little bit about how we approach investing. We look at management, we look at the marketing. I advise a bunch of projects these days as well on the side, and one of the things I like to do is do some serious growth hacking. Most of the projects that we end up taking to market have a minimum of 100,000 users on their Twitter and Telegram, and it's some serious firepower by the time they come to market. So what else can I tell you with winging this whole this speech? I've known Kyle for about 10 years, to be clear, so this isn't something that we just came up with. We both met in Los Angeles while I was doing my MBA in investment management, so it's been quite a while. And one of the main things with our fund, to be clear, is that it's very tough to experience IDO-like returns, right? You can invest a small amount of money, $500, $1,000, maybe a few $1,000s, but to actually be able to deploy serious amounts of capital and get those sort of IDO-type returns, which could be 10x, could be 100x, whatever it is, it's very difficult to do. So Polkadot is one of the first, and Kusama is one of the first opportunities that allows us to deploy to get those sort of returns. Because obviously if we stake Kusama and Polkadot, we're then given their native, in the different projects, we're given their native airdrop tokens. And those are tokens that you only have access to if you stake that Kusama directly. And the other thing is, to get access to the private sales and the seed sales of the Akalas and Queers of the world, it's very difficult. You need to have a brand name. And so at Master Ventures, we've been developing on Substrate, the paid network. We're going to be bidding for a Parachain. So we have that development expertise in-house. We have Rust developers. We've been doing this for a long time, so we're very connected. We're members of the Polkadot Link network. We have ambassadors on our advisory board that are ambassadors for advisors, that are ambassadors for Polkadot, and also ambassadors for Akala. Also, we have the CEO of Bitcoin.com, for example, the CEO of ChainJelly. We have an advisor that provides deal flow to Sequoia Capital. So, very, very networked. What else can I tell you? So, one of the main things is getting access to proprietary deal flow. At the center of this ecosystem, one of the things we own under Master Ventures is the paid network and a launchpad called Ignition, which is one of the top 4 launchpads out there with Polkastarter, with DAOmaker, and BSCPad. But obviously, running an institutional fund, what we're really looking to do is invest in the sort of projects that are going to go directly to a platform like CoinList, or go to a platform like Republic, or get direct listing on Binance or Huobi or OKEx. So, much bigger projects. And I think Kyle already said briefly that some of the projects we've invested in are JoyStream, for example, the Number 7 project on Polkadot, on a Polka project. It's an audio-visual and social fi user monetization system that's integrated directly with YouTube. Shingari obviously has 55 million users. It's going to be the TikTok of India, growing by 1.4 million users per week and going to Republic. So we invested in them. We also invested in a unique network that is an NFT chain that has relationship with the United Nations to build out NFTs for emerging economies in third world countries. So these are some of the things we're doing. The minimum investment is $100,000. We do not accept US investors, sorry, but there's laws. And for co-investors, the minimum investment is $500,000. And that means you get direct access to our deal flow. So for $500,000, you could potentially, we would get you direct SAFTs. We don't charge any money for that. You can invest directly in the same projects that we're investing into and achieve similar returns.
Another thing too is that if you want to know kind of just how powerful and how successful projects that have launched in the Polkadot ecosystem have been, you can look at what's called Kusama. Kusama is basically, they call it the canary nets for Polkadot. It's basically kind of like a test net in a way. It's an exact replica of Polkadot, but it's meant to move quicker and kind of have that mentality of move quick and break things kind of stuff, where Polkadot is supposed to be more tried, tested, and true. So these parachain auctions happen, and Kusama parachain auctions have been happening for a few months now, and every single thing on Kusama has just crushed it. I mean, every project that's launching in Kusama is doing extremely well, and Kusama is, again, the test net for Polkadot. Polkadot parachain auctions start in late November, early December. Finally, after the mainnet being live for over a year, we're finally going to start to see these, what we've all been waiting for, which is what we're really excited for, is the Polkadot auctions that are coming. But with that being said, we already know just how well these have been doing, because we've seen, again, the Kusama parachains rocking it, doing extremely well, and this is a lot of hype that's going on in the market right now. So, very much looking forward to that. And like Orion said, we know this ecosystem so well because we're building in it. Under Master Ventures umbrella, there's about 80 of us. That's and we have. If you ask anybody in this space who does the best marketing, people are going to say Paid Network and Master Ventures. This is why people come to us from all over the globe to help market their products, because it's really hard to find good people who understand how to market in crypto, but we know how to do it. Most people come to us, because we're prepared and set up to incubate projects, and we do all the time, that means we have token economic experts that build out the best economic models. We've got our guys from Bloomberg from 9 years. We've got guys on our team from, one of the CTOs we just hired was actually from Morgan Stanley and BlackRock, doing high-speed trading frequencies. We've got incredible team, and we really understand this industry very well. And you have to understand this industry very well to understand what to pass on and what to invest into. Some people have great pitches, but if you don't know the right questions to ask, you're not going to get the best information on whether you should invest into it or not. And the only way you know how to ask the right questions is if you've been here for a very long time and you understand every single little vertical of the space. Like, a lot of people don't know how to ask questions about token economics, right? And a lot of people are raising money for tokens, and they don't really have an idea of how that token's going to accrue value over time. They actually have this fiat-based revenue model over here where they're charging people in cash or fiat, but they raise money for this token over here, and so maybe they have a really successful business over here generating lots of revenue, but the token's not appreciating because they haven't thought about how to create value in that token ecosystem, right? And so a lot of people don't even know how to ask these simple questions. So I think one of the things that really sets us apart is the time that we've been in the industry. 10 years is literally a lifetime. I mean, back in 2013 when I started building World Super Lotto, you never heard about Bitcoin ever. Nothing. Once a month, maybe I heard something on TV or radio, but it usually wasn't positive, So we've been in it for a long time, and when you've dedicated your life to it for 10 years, you really, really understand the industry, and that's what sets us apart. Again, like the kind of, people also now will ask me if I invest in stocks or real estate or equities, FX, whatever. I don't touch any of these things because it's very, very old school. And, and if you understand the kind of investing that we do, it's not risky. We don't, like I said before, it's risky to buy in the secondary market. Yes, it is risky to go buy Bitcoin when it's going parabolic and Bitcoin hits $90,000. If you buy Bitcoin at that point, it is maybe a little bit risky, right? But the way that we do it, it's not. Like and all the private sale deals I've invested into, I haven't lost any money. So even after crashes, and as long as we have the time as long as we have conviction in the projects that we invest into and give them time to come around when the market to mature and when the market conditions are ripe, it works out extremely well. In 2017, I invested in some projects like Thorchain, Elrond, Solana, and back in May, those were all, like Thorchain was 1,000x back in May. Now it's dropped a bit. Now it's about 500. But, these things need a little bit of time. But as long as you know what you're looking for, and I believe infrastructure is what we should be looking at. And this is what we're placing a lot of our bets on with this project. But also gaming. So I've been huge into crypto gaming and blockchain gaming. And we're looking at another project right now that I almost don't even want to tell you guys because we haven't actually made our investment into it yet. But it's insane. And this is actually something that we will have co-investment opportunity coming up for. So if you were to invest $500,000 or more, you would get co-investment into this project. It's called Cross the Ages. There's over 100 different people working on this project. It's a tier 1 game. The founder owns 5 gaming studios around the world. And all the artists and everybody on the team comes from something incredible, like Marvel, DC Comics, Final Fantasy, Riot Games. Like these guys are, and they're going to be an insane. These kind of projects are the ones that do tremendously well. The Star Atlas type of games that are getting 200 to 500 times returns. And I hesitate to kind of use numbers like this. And guys, I guess I'll try to back up a little bit and say it's not all like that. These are the anomalies, right? But I think it is quite often that we, for us to be able to do a 5x on a project, even after the hype kind of comes down and it kind of settles, that's quite normal for us. Yeah, this is all I invest in anymore because for the past 10 years, no one's been able to show me a better investment than what I've been doing.
Yeah, let me just add a few final things on that. One of the things is obviously we are a Polkadot fund, to be clear. So just to give you a broad overlay again, Master Ventures is a private market VC with over $500 million in digital market investments. So been around for a long time, invested over 100 different projects. So Master Ventures Investment Management is a separate and new division of which Kyle and I and Rich are partners. So this is just our first fund we're launching. This is the first time we've opened up investment to other individuals and companies. So we've already raised a good amount of capital and had investments from other funds, obviously. If other VC funds are investing in us to get access to our proprietary deal flow. Our Polkadot VC fund also has about 25% of its fund allocated towards discretionary and opportunistic opportunities. So right now we're looking at things in the NFT space, gaming, metaverse, what else? Play to earn. I mean, candidly, I'm advising a few different projects, one of which is, yeah? Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just, investing in, for example, some of the projects that I'm advising are going to Red Kite, going to GameFi, Oxbull, DAO Maker via CPAD. And so, very strong CoinList, Republic. So we're looking at a lot of different areas, but areas that are very profitable and a lot of different sector projects. Yeah. Let me bring up Bridge as well, one of our other partners. He'll tell you a little bit about his background as well.
Hey, thanks, guys. So I know we're being asked to wrap up here. I just wanted to introduce myself briefly. My name is Brajesh Patel. I'm a partner with the fund. I'm super excited to be working with these guys. My own background is in quantitative finance, and then the startup world, where I had an exit a couple of years ago, and I met Kyle in Thailand while I was traveling. One of the other funds that I've been working on for a bit is a charter cities venture capital fund. So we actually connected pretty enthusiastically about one of his dream projects, which is to create a crypto micronation where you can live, work, play crypto. And so Pronomos invests in founders around the world who are building decentralized cities. So we found lots of things that overlap in terms of our personal and professional interests. One last thing I want to say about the fund is that it's been really great to deconstruct Kyle's intuition. That's a skill set that he's developed over time, and that combined with his network is what allows him to pick really great projects. So one of the things that's important to me is to be able to mechanize that process so that we can build it into products so that other investors can enjoy similar returns. I think that's it from us because we're out of time here, but thank you very much.
Just one last thing. Guys, obviously, we're raising capital, so if any of you want to ask us any questions, we're going to be here in the investor lounge. Kyle, myself, Bridge, as well as Alex. Alex, say hi over there. So we'll be here in the next few hours if you have any questions, and we'd love to answer any questions and talk more. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kyle, Mr. Ryan, and Mr. Brajesh. Now I would like to invite my team, Neha and Shreya, to felicitate.